Now, to begin the 2023 Maneuver Warfighter Conference, ladies and gentlemen, it's my privilege to present the Commanding General of the Maneuver Center of Excellence, Major General Curtis Buzzard.
Thanks, Ryan, and good morning, everyone, and welcome home. Welcome here to Fort Moore. It's great to have so many senior leaders here and all of our officers and NCOs as part of our leader development courses. It's going to be a great week. Welcome to all our distinguished guests, leaders from across the Army, and especially the Maneuver Force, active and retired, our industry partners, and thanks to all of you for making time in what I know is a very busy schedule to be here at the Maneuver Warfighter Conference at Fort Moore. I would be remiss if I did not acknowledge yesterday was the 22nd anniversary of the attacks on 9/11 and the tremendous sacrifice of that day and over the last 22 years. And we must continue to honor those who gave the last full measure and their families, to be grateful for our lives and the freedoms that we enjoy each and every day, and to use their sacrifice to inspire us to be the very best we can be as individuals and units, prepared to fight and win when our nation calls. We must never forget and never relent on preparing for the crucible of ground combat. As many of you know, earlier this year, we renamed our post to honor Lieutenant General Hal and Julie Moore. Whether it was Hal's personal courage and warrior ethos, his innovative approaches leading Air Cav in Vietnam, a mindset that only first place matters because there's no second place in combat, and his commitment to equal opportunity for all soldiers. Or Julie's work as a lifelong volunteer, her role in establishing what would become Army Community Services, and changes she influenced to how we conduct casualty notification and assist others in family readiness groups. The Moores were people of great character who exemplified the values of our profession and also knew how to drive change, not only for the betterment of our soldiers' lives, but in our efforts to fight and win tomorrow's battles. And in renaming this post, we honor them, but their legacy also serves to inspire us. And with that comes a challenge to achieve the Moore standard and to be more, to be all you can be. And so before we begin this conference, it is appropriate to take a moment to reflect on a couple that has done so much to strengthen our profession. Please roll the video.
Yeah, General Moore was a great leader. He was right there on the ground with us.
But she saw other people whose husbands were killed, and she knew her job was to take care of families.
I knew we'd prevail. I knew we were going to in for a hell of a fight, but never once did it cross my mind that we'd go down. Not one time.
If you're a widow, you've got so much on your plate because of what she did. I don't have to worry about that. That's a huge blessing.
You knew he was in command, and you knew he knew what was going on. He just was a soldier's soldier, and you just felt comfortable around him.
They are the married relationship that any married couple wants. It was defined by a deep, committed love. When you step back, it's a love story. It's a love story about their love and commitment to soldier and the nation.
If that doesn't tug at your heart a little bit watching that, something might be wrong. Lieutenant General Hal and Julie Moore were courageous leaders and visionaries, and courage and vision are exactly what we need as we drive change to prepare for the current and future operating environment. The character of war, the ways and means we fight is always changing, and we must stay on the cutting edge. And throughout this conference will be discussions on changes to doctrine, organizations, training, materiel, etc. However, the nature of war largely remains the same, a brutal contest of wills that demands cohesive teams with members who are fit, disciplined, highly trained, and demonstrate the will to fight and win in the crucible of ground combat. The warrior ethos matters. We are at the epicenter of the changing character and immutable nature of war at the Maneuver Center of Excellence. This is exactly what we do. We focus on building the foundation and delivering trained and combat-ready soldiers and leaders to the operational force, while also developing and integrating the doctrine and capabilities for the future. This is where our country's most cherished asset, our young men and women, come to begin their careers. They come here to be more, and they leave here as soldiers, paratroopers, rangers, and maneuver leaders. Many in this room are from the operational force, our consumer, and we owe you the absolute best. And I truly believe we are at an inflection point and only a miscalculation away from combat. A very different one than the last 20-plus years. We are seeing glimpses of the future of war in the Russian invasion of the Ukraine, a return to large-scale combat operations, combined arms in a multi-domain environment, transparent battlefield, proliferation of unmanned systems, highly lethal, and so on. And our pacing challenge, China, continues to modernize at a rapid rate and focused even more on the power of data, machine learning, artificial intelligence, human-machine interface, and robotics. That's why every year this conference, the Maneuver Warfighter Conference, is so important. For 3 days, we get to hear from the leaders of our Army. We get to focus on driving change to meet the challenges of Army 2030 and shape the Army of 2040 and build a common visualization of where we're going. We're also reminded of the importance of our people, our warrior ethos, our NCO Corps and their disciplined initiative, how we train at the threshold of failure, and a mindset always focused on what we could do better. As you can see on the schedule, we have an impressive 3 days ahead of us. The overall theme for the conference is driving change in the maneuver force, and each day follows a different theme, and today is realizing the strategic vision. Shortly, we will hear from the Acting Chief of Staff of the Army and the Sergeant Major of the Army, then the FORCECOM Command Team, while after lunch, we will hear from the TRADOC Command Team and the USARPAC Commander for a sense of challenges in the Indo-Pacific region. To end the day, we will travel out to Red Cloud Range for a combined arms live fire and see an example of our maneuver force in action with new and old technology. Day 2 will focus on how we are achieving the Army of 2030. We will hear from General Rainey from Army Futures Command, Lieutenant General Matlock, and Lieutenant General Beagle, the Headquarters DA G357 and Combined Arms Center Commander, respectively, on how we are continuously transforming to meet the demands of 2030. Following that will be a series of panels, first on how the divisions are adjusting, and then what each center of excellence is doing across all branches to enable the maneuver force of the future. And on day 3, we will shift our focus to look beyond 2030, to hear from Ian Sullivan, the TRADOC G2, on the future operating environment. Then Peter Singer, author of Ghost Fleet and several other works, as well as a renowned futurist, will provide us a glimpse of what the future may hold. And we will deep dive even more on the future of the maneuver force. This will be capstoned by a great talk on leadership from the always insightful and legendary Duke basketball coach, Coach K, who knows a little bit about character, standards, and winning. Throughout, there are also some great Warrior Corner events and a chance to see a whole lot of new capabilities from industry. In closing, welcome again to the Maneuver Warfighter Conference. Please play the Day 1 video.
Over the last almost 250 years, the Army has become one of the greatest ground forces the world has ever seen. We have been the main effort for every conflict in our country's history and have dominated our adversaries.
You should install the will to win in your unit. I never allowed second place trophies to be accepted, presented, or displayed in any trophy case of any unit I ever commanded. If you come in second on the battlefield, you haven't accomplished your mission. And personally, you're often dead.
Because in war, there is no second place. We are at the epicenter of winning at the Maneuver Center of Excellence. This is exactly what we do. Because when recruits sign on to be all they can be in the Army, they come here to be more.